It's week 2 of the NFL, and all eyes are on Javonte Williams. He was unstoppable a week ago with 4 touchdowns. It's the Broncos and the Texans, just ahead on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Teams here fresh off week 1 victories who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And right off the bat, Mills looking to throw it. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Play action now, Mills. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Mills now from the 50. That's caught. It's Chris Moore. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time you wait for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Mills throw complete here, pulled in by Howard. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 23 yards on the play. 4 consecutive passes to begin this opening drive, and you can't argue with the results. They've already driven it into the red zone and a fresh set of downs here to play with.
Which means there's a lot of trust by the play caller, by the quarterback, the receivers, you name it. Everyone locked in, everyone doing their job. I'd continue to go in that direction because right now they get the defense back on their heels.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. A 1st down throw from Mills. He's got it. Touchdown. Jordan Akins, his 1st touchdown of the new season. And the Texans get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his 2nd season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Time for our first look at the Denver offense. And, of course, the new face of the Broncos, 9-time Pro Bowler while in Seattle, Russell Wilson.
The Denver Broncos knew exactly what they wanted when they acquired Russell Wilson. They wanted to bring in a quarterback who was durable, consistent, and a proven winner to take a talented roster back to the postseason. And Russell Wilson, he was all of those things in Seattle. One losing record in 10 seasons, missed only 3 games in that time, and made 9 Pro Bowls.
Got an open man here, and it's KJ Hamler. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. The first carry now. This is Williams. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Now Wilson. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Tim Patrick's one of my favorite stories in the NFL. A self-made player at every level. He's beat great odds to become a starter in this league. The Broncos love the reliable production he brings them from the number 2 or 3 spot on the depth chart.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 44-yard line. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Throwing is Wilson. Into the hands of Patrick left side. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Here's Wilson to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll run with Edmonds again. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. Out quickly to Judy. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. The sack there by Rasheem Green. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Darren Stingley picks it, and the Texans are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
So here are the Texans to take over. Last week they got the victory against the Colts, so they lead this one as well as they begin things here 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Mills. That pass complete to Moore. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. To throw again on 2nd down. Mills. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Mills to Cooks there, and that connection good for a Houston first. Here's Mills. He's got the connection to Moore. And he goes diving to get as much as he can following a big gain. A nice little cherry on top there at the end. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. That's complete to the tight end, Akins. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 for the 22. And they'll throw again. Here's Mills. And he'll find Akins there, complete. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Mills on 3rd and 2. He rifles complete, caught by Moore. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for.
The pass finds Mechie in the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. John Mechie. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Week 2 underway around the NFL. And a reminder that later tonight it will be Chicago and Green Bay in the Packers home opener. The 101st season of that great rivalry. They had the 100th anniversary last year. And then tomorrow night, a treat, a Monday night doubleheader. Tennessee and Buffalo, 7:15 Eastern. And then Minnesota and Philly kicking off a little over an hour later. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll start up at TIAA Stadium in Jacksonville, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Matt Ryan, 5 touchdown passes, leading his guys to the victory. From there, we're off to check out another game, and they've got the lead in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Cooper Kupp, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get to Silicon Valley to check on the 49ers at home at Levi Stadium. In that game, all square as they take on the visiting Seahawks. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in the first half for the Texans. And their offense has been in top form so far, especially their passing game, as it's helped push them out to this big halftime lead. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
These two coaching staffs likely going through their final adjustments for the second half. One of these teams is going to emerge 2-0. But who will it be? To find out, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Here's Wilson. That's out to the flat for Edmonds. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. But Charles, the Texans 2022 draft class here. And for a team, a franchise hoping to really climb back towards contention, now their front office, really everybody around the club felt exceptionally good about this draft.
I said it on draft night, and I stick by it. This was a very professional draft by the Houston Texans.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Jalen Petrie picks it off, and the Texans are going to take possession of the football.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging, because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach, because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
2nd and 10 now. Third quarter action in Denver. Throwing, Mills. Working the middle, and he's got it complete to Akins, the tight end. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
The time called here because a member of the Texans is in some discomfort. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. Mills to throw it. Touchdown, Texans! Brevin Jordan from 3 yards out. And the Texans take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes, because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And Denver getting set to take the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Steven Nelson. And they will score a pick 6. 6 for the Texans TD.
Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. Fields it right around the goal line. Denver's offense now set to go. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play. Multiple plays that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
On third down, Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Here's Smith to return it. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender, because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you'll get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there, and he did a lot of that on that play.
From the 24, Mills. He gets this one to Mechie. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 14. 3 quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Looking to throw is Mills. That's complete right around the 8. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Mills. Throw right side into the hands of Akins.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and look like turtle at this point.
Touchdown! Dameon Pierce. Fine work there on the touchdown run. And the Texans are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. So I tell you what, Charles, I know that you don't put a ton of stock into power rankings and things of that nature, but another score here, and 2 weeks into the season, this is maybe the most impressive team in the NFL. Would you agree?
Well, they've certainly sold me as they've sold you, and I agree with you, no question about it. They won easily last week. They're on their way to another lopsided victory here. They're definitely a team to be reckoned with, and they are serving notice to the rest of the league.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes this 35-0 now. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos are about set to go on offense.
I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
The offense on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Wilson. Outright, this one goes to Patrick. And he goes out right around the 39.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now.
Now it's Wilson.
Throw over the middle, taken in by Dulcich.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson finding his big receiver Patrick over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 43. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43. Now it's Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson.
This is Hamler on the receiving end. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson.
He'll get this underneath to Edmonds. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Results, fourth down.
The kick by McManus is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
It certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
It certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Houston, there was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to the Windy City to take on the Bears. Meanwhile, for Denver, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco.
I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show. I'm just letting you know that I'm not in a